Welcome to another edition of What's Next? Longevity Deal Talk. We're glad you're spending time with us. I'm Fred Fishkin along with Mary Furlong. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Fred. Excited to be here today, and we have breaking news to share with everyone.
We do, and this edition is made possible by iN2L, a Vista equity portfolio company and the leading provider of person-centered digital engagement to the senior living market. Mary, iN2L is a company you've been working with for some time, and they have a big deal to talk about today.
Yes, I've been so privileged to work with them for many years, and they're among the most trusted network of leaders we work with, and we're very excited to help them get the word out about this new important deal.
Well, let's get to it. We are happy to have with us Lisa Taylor, CEO of iN2L. Hi, Lisa.
Hey, how are you guys? Good to see you again.
Good to see you. And also with us is Amy Johnson, CEO and co-founder of LifeLoop, a company that is in the business of providing communication between residents, family members, and staff in senior living. Hi, Amy.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Well, the deal that we're talking about is the strategic acquisition of LifeLoop by iN2L.
And congratulations to both of you. Lisa, let's turn to you first. What is your thinking about the deal, and why does it make sense for iN2L?
Yeah, thank you, Mary. What we promised the market, gosh, when we brought news public back in March, when we were acquired by Vista Equity Partners, that really our long-term strategic vision is to continue to consolidate smaller technology vendors and be able to provide a consolidated technology platform for owners and operators. So this is our first step in realizing that commitment to the market as we bring LifeLoop into the iN2L family to continue to extend our platform.
Amy, give us your perspective on why this makes sense.
Absolutely. There's a variety of reasons it makes sense, but to echo a little bit about what Lisa said, it's really bringing the consolidated platform to the market. It's time. Our users are in need to really streamline the experience and provide a better engagement solution to residents, and that's through more engaged staff and family.
So I had the privilege of joining Jack York out in the field and visiting one of your customers. So let's talk about what this will mean to your customers. Lisa and then Amy.
Yeah, well, that's the most exciting part, right, Mary, is to be able to bring to our customers the joint solution. I think probably the most important things for our customers is that with our consolidated platforms, we have a clear value and return on investment proposition, really focusing on their number one challenge right now, which is staff retention, which is impacting occupancy. So when you think about the combined solutions, customers are super excited about our ability to impact the staff efficiency and effectiveness of staff, their actual well-being, making their job easier so that they can spend time doing what they love, which is spending time with residents. So I would say from a customer perspective, being able to wrap some more ROI around staff satisfaction is key to our messaging here and what we're bringing to the market.
Yeah, I mean, Lisa keeps just doing such a great job of explaining everything. What we're both doing, what iN2L and LifeLoop we're both doing separately is so critical on their own. And so it just creates this power that it's going to create in the engagement space in the most important time in the market is really, really wonderful. I think the last couple of years have been really, really hard for everybody, but in the senior living space especially. And so it's our duty as engagement vendors to make this a better experience for those residents. And again, that's done through the staff. So it's super exciting on all fronts, and I can't wait to dig in and really, really see the impact that it's going to have.
Well, we want to dig in a little bit here too. So about how this all came about. So who knew? What was the aha moment?
Oh my
Lisa,
gosh.
Amy.
Well,
You needed this partnership. And then also, how many people are you reaching and serving?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I'll start, but Amy, you jump in here with me too. Mary, you likely have heard me say this before. Amy was the first person outside of Jack York that I met when I came into the senior living market. She happened to be in Denver, which is the headquarters of iN2L, and I met her. And I think from that moment forward, Amy and I both knew what power these two companies coming together could bring. But Amy, you can share the water bottle story if you'd like.
Yeah, well, we were at the Argentum conference. It was probably 2018. Is that right? Yeah. And Lisa and Nick from LifeLoop and I sat down, and we, at that point, LifeLoop had been around about 3 years, and so we're learning so much and really connecting a lot of dots. And then meeting Lisa, there was just like, oh gosh, well, what if we could put this all together? And it just happened to be that we had a water bottle on the table. And so it became this hilarious conversation about putting everything into the water bottle. That was our widget that we were going to create. And so it's a moment that neither of us will ever forget. I also, it goes back before that for me as well with Jack. Jack York has been a personal friend of mine. And, when something starts from the right place, it's really easy to get on board with. And I think the big thing about the two companies and the cultures is that we've started from the right place, and we continue to try to do things for the right reason. And why we're doing something right now is way more important than what we're doing. And so that continues to really have the missions be on the same page. So when those things all align, it makes it a pretty easy decision. And so the history part of it is really a huge component to the story, because without Jack being willing to help me in the early days, and without me meeting Lisa at Argentum, that it never would have happened. So
That was 4 years ago, are you saying?
Yeah.
Lisa and I met. Yeah.
So tell us why it took 4 years from that water bottle moment for this to actually happen. Did COVID play a role here?
But there's a lot of, I can take that, Lisa, and then.
Yeah, sure.
I feel like, LifeLoop has only been around 7 years. So we started in 2015. And so we were still a really new company, trying to figure things out. And until COVID happened, the market wasn't ready for technology, for the communication stuff. It was a nice to have. And COVID made LifeLoop kind of a must have. And so for us, just from a numbers standpoint, it wouldn't have made sense until after our large growth. But I also think it was not the right time for iN2L at that time either. So it's all about timing, and Lisa coming on board 4 years ago was kind of what started their trajectory.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, Amy, I totally agree. The capitalization and partnerships within the companies is critical. So anyone who's listening, and if we're talking about deals, anyone knows that the timing is critical. And I think what really, from an iN2L perspective, our capitalization from Vista back a year ago, really that's what we were looking to do, right? Vista invested in our business because they want to bring the best engagement platform to the senior living industry. And we will do that through work like Amy's been doing, and work on putting deals together. So again, it is a lot of timing, and it's got to be right for both companies.
It'd be good for our audience maybe to explain, each of you, a bit about what each of you does, what the company is focused on, and from a technical point of view here.
Yeah, you want me to take it? I'll take it first, Fred. And as we're talking about it, I really think of it's almost sequential. So where iN2L has been known for almost 23 years now is to provide just best in class resident experience and engagement. And alone, we touch almost 4,000 communities. That's a lot. It's a lot of penetration. We've been doing it for a lot of years, but really our fundamental value proposition is to be able to drive resident experience help those engage with maybe memories, activities that they wouldn't normally have the opportunity to do. We use that, we bring that to market through a technology solution that's enabled through touchscreen hardware. We love to serve the older adult wherever they are, physically or cognitively. So depending on where that older adult is in their journey, there is technology applications in our content solutions to help them engage. We also introduced to the market back in 2018 a tablet solution, which was very, very helpful during the pandemic for so many older adults to stay connected, both with their families, their loved ones, and also engagement technology when they did not have the opportunity to go into senior centers or to connect like they used to. Our technology solutions really provide staff a way to create engagement activities that they don't have to spend the time doing themselves, right? They can use the tools and functionality within iN2L to bring engagement and activities to the older adults in the communities. And so we're really, really good there. And I'm gonna let Amy share where they're really, really good and how bringing those two together makes just a holistic platform for everyone in that community. But turn it over to Amy for the LifeLoop side of the house.
Perfect. Well, I'll start kind of like why we started. And I think that kind of paints the picture of what we do. So we started LifeLoop in order to connect family originally. And it was born out of a personal situation that my husband and his family had with his grandmother and wanting to stay in the loop of her life and with her and the staff. And so that concept is really what drove us to solve that problem. And so that's really where I dug in and realized that the problem is really solving all of these things for staff in order to provide this communication for family. And so fast forward, 7 years, we've built a very large operational platform that's focused all on non-clinical operations. And so when I say that, it's where they build their activity calendars. It's where they have the resident bios. It's where they track engagement, photos, maintenance tracking, transportation tracking. We just added the ability to track work requests, digital signage. So it's creating this connected culture to save staff time in order to be more efficient in their day-to-day. And then whenever they have those updates, we've built the family app to pull those things real time. And then we've also built a resident app. So residents that are moving into communities with their phone have that at their fingertips as well. And so, as that changes, because the resident moving in today is going to be different than the resident moving in 5 years. So looking forward, like how do residents want to engage with each other is kind of that next vision. And so there's so many applications to that. But if you pair that with all the fantastic content and engagement, I mean, it's just content's such a broad word. It's like with such great quality purpose. With all of that, that's a powerful solution. So it was pretty obvious. And if you talk to any of our mutual clients, they're just like, what does this mean? This is awesome. So it really is a huge compliment in terms of product features.
Yeah, when you've got customers that actually say, oh my gosh, I can quit hacking the integration between iN2L and LifeLoop, you're like, oh my gosh, I should have brought these companies together sooner if you're out there hacking the integration. So there's a lot of very unique integration points that our customers are going to be able to take advantage of very, very quickly.
Well, we're so excited to be able to help you get the word out about this. And there's nothing like when your customer has an aha moment, you have product market match. And
Yeah.
Dan Herman from Ziegler will tell us that staffing is the biggest issue he sees. We know that across the board. And also igniting that engagement and being able to push emails out to say on your calendar today, is this podcast or this activity or I was there at one of the communities when they were doing hat decorating for Easter last year.
Oh,
A
nice.
couple of years ago. But, it's letting people know that these activities are happening. And then you have the data analytics is going to be an important piece of the puzzle too, right?
Yep.
That's right. Yeah.
Lisa, what was Vista's reaction to this?
Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. When we did our original deal with Vista, one of the most interesting things for them was we had a short list of companies that we felt would be really nice acquisition targets, and LifeLoop was top on my list. So this is something that as we went into our transaction was, like I said, when we first messaged this to the market and why it was so important to choose Vista as our equity partner, they were very, very encouraged by the type and the landscape of opportunities for M&A activity that existed within senior living technology. So very excited to be working on this together with them. And kind of as I foreshadowed, this likely won't be the last time we're on a deal podcast with you, I hope, as Amy and I continue to look at other opportunities similar to LifeLoop that will be complementary to together what we're bringing to market.
I want to say a word about that, Fred,
Sure.
because I teach women in leadership at Santa Clara in the business school. And I told Lisa, I said, how great to see the leadership she's shown here to the private equity world, right? But also what happens once the deal starts, then it's getting the culture right. And I said
Yes.
to Amy, congratulations, because I know that you will be able to bring the two cultures together and bring value to the shareholders, value to the customers, and value to the team. How good is that?
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things when Amy and I just met with all the employees, we're meeting with them weekly as part of our integration planning. And one of the highlights for she and I is, like Amy mentioned earlier, the mission and vision of our companies is the same. So oftentimes people do deals and they're finding they're trying to put square pegs in round holes when you're talking about things like that. For Amy and I, it's super easy because the businesses have been founded the same way. They're led the same way. We all come to work in service of older adults, full stop. That's what we do. And both companies have been built that way. So for us, it's just really cool to kind of bring together, a team of almost 150 employees now between our two companies that already shared the same mission and vision for the work that we do.
On the coding side, the technical side and all that, it seems like this is going to mesh together well, or are there complications?
No, it's, I was just saying this before this meeting to a prospect I was talking to about this, and the dev side is like so cool because they are coming together seamlessly, which is I don't know. I've never done this before. I've never brought two companies together, but just knowing how difficult it is to build one product, there's always like, oh, this is going to be really hard to do, but they're making it seem way too easy, which is really cool. They're just a talented group of people. So I'm very, very pleased with how that's going.
Yeah, I would say that's another one of those kind of like our mission vision, how easily it fits together. Again, in our all hands meeting yesterday, Amy and I, we were able to show some already quick wins on the product side, and the dev team is not surprisingly ahead of the game. And we could show all the employees like some really cool integration things that have already been done on the applications. And as you guys know, the deal closed March 31st, and it's, we're just now talking about this first couple of weeks in April, and here we are, already semi-integrated.
Are you saying much about the financial terms, if anything?
We're not. Unfortunately, we're keeping that under wraps, Fred.
Understand.
Yeah.
Well, it's wonderful to learn about this deal from both of you. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and this look behind the curtain, and let's spread the word and let people know what's happened and the value you're bringing. Looking forward to hearing more as it progresses.
Thank you both.
Well, we really appreciate you being with us on What's Next Longevity Deal Talk. And for those of you watching or listening, you can find us and also What's Next Living Longer, Better, Smarter at maryfurlong.com/podcasts. Tell everyone you know to tune in and subscribe. And the website is also a great place to learn more about what's going on with the What's Next Longevity Business Academy and the upcoming Longevity Venture Summit.